So this month's prompt is brainstorming. I had to really give this some thought, and I have two areas of inspiration I'd like to share with you. First, I went to contra dancing school for 5 days with my guy. Most of the couples there had been dancing a decade or more. We jumped into the deep end from the very start. We had maybe 5 lessons beforehand. It was pretty overwhelming and awkward at first. The other dancers were kind, so that helped the learning process. There is so much to think about when you are learning something new. I forgot, since I hadn't really been a student for a long time outside of taking art classes. There were all the steps, multiple partners, rhythm, timing, and style. It was a storm of activity, and I couldn't see how the two of us, well, me, I will speak for myself, would ever get past the awkward stumbling around stage. How can you move so fast, remember all this stuff, and add some style to it? I was overwhelmed by the amount of new information swirling around in my brain, as well as muscle memory taking place. It all seemed like it would just be a dream to be a dancer. By the end of the week, something had changed. I had become a contra dancer. Chris and I were able to move around the dance floor and understand and enjoy what we were doing. It's exhilarating to accomplish something you always told yourself you couldn't do. Oh, there is so much more to learn, as we all know. It's just the beginning, but I am learning to love the process. Now I want to learn the waltz, salsa, hip-hop dance. And no, I haven't put tango on the list yet. That is a bit of a stretch. My painting career has been a whirlwind of sorts. I have been a creative my whole adult life. I received my BFA in Fiber Arts at Cal State University Long Beach and worked in the apparel business as a print designer for 20 years. But I was never a painter till 12 years ago. I decided I wanted to paint expressive portraits for the most part. I experimented with acrylics and found they dried too fast for me to handle. I tried over and over again with horrible results, but I still kept at it. I found inks that could be activated with water, so I added white acrylic paint to the inks and started painting faces that started to work. Since then, I discovered open acrylics, which have a longer drying time, similar to oils, and that worked even better. I experimented with watercolors and mixing them with acrylics. I drew pencil drawings and blended them with linseed oil. And at last, oil paints. What the hell was I doing? I was experimenting and deeply devoted to being in the moment. I became so adventurous, and I was interested and focused. The final painting was never where my energy lied. It was in the process. I am late bloomer, according to this article, Late Bloomers, by Malcolm Gladwell from October 13, 2008, for The New Yorker. The most creative lyric verse is believed to be that written by the young, according to the Harvard psychologist Howard Gardner, a leading authority on creativity. A few years ago, an economist at the University of Chicago named David Gallinson decided to find out whether this assumption about creativity was true. There are many comparisons in this article, but I wanted to concentrate on Picasso and Cézanne. Picasso's career as a serious artist began with a masterpiece produced at the age of 26. Picasso fit our usual ideas about genius perfectly. Cézanne did not. The finest collection of Cézannes in the world were all painted at the end of his career. The freshness, exuberance, and energy of youth did little for Cézanne. He was a late bloomer, and for some reason in our accounting of genius and creativity, we have forgotten to make sense of the Cézannes of the world. Prodigies like Picasso, Gallinson argues, rarely engage in a kind of open-ended exploration. They tend to be conceptual in the sense that they start with a clear idea of where they want to go and then execute it. I can hardly understand the importance given to the word research, Picasso once said. In my opinion, to search means nothing in painting. To find is a thing. The several manners I have used in my art must not be considered an evolution or as steps toward an unknown ideal of painting. I have never made trials or experiments, but late bloomers, Gallinson says, tend to work the other way around. Their approach is experimental. Their goals are imprecise, so their procedure is tentative and incremental. Experimental painters rarely make specific preparatory sketches or plans for a painting. They consider the production of a painting as a process of searching in which they aim to discover the image in the course of making it. They typically believe that learning is a more important goal than making finished paintings. Experimental artists build their skills gradually over the course of their careers, improving their work slowly over long periods. Where Picasso wanted to find, not search, Cézanne said the opposite: I seek in painting. On the road to great achievement, the late bloomer will resemble a failure. While the late bloomer is revising and despairing and changing course and slashing canvases to ribbons after months or years, what he or she produces will look like the kind of thing produced by the artist who will never bloom at all. Prodigies are easy. They advertise their genius from the get-go. Late bloomers are hard. They require blind faith. Are you a late bloomer? You are in great company. Dance with the storm and let the magic begin.